Welcome to the Old Time Radio Superman Show. This is your host, Adam Graham, coming to you from Boise, Idaho. Well, last time, Superman, we kind of got to cut to the chase because he is in the villain's hideout, and the villain's no match for Superman whatsoever. And before we find out what happens in the exciting Part 7 of the $5 million gold heist, I want to encourage you to check out Laser and Sword magazine, lasersword.adamsweb.us. Also check out our store, lulu.com/lasersword, where you can get issue 5 of our magazine. Is now out for download or for purchase, along with the Laser and Sword annual edition. Please feel free to email me any questions, comments on the show, adam@adamsweb.us, and cast your vote for us at Podcast Alley. It's much appreciated. Go to podcastalley.com, put Old Time Radio Superman in, and go ahead and cast your vote. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the $5 million gold heist, Part 7.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman! The sky! Look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman! And now, Superman, champion of the weak and the oppressed, who came to Earth from the planet Krypton with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a large metropolitan newspaper. As you remember, in our last episode, Clark Kent, as Superman, solved the mystery of the vanished freight car by discovering where the gang had hidden it within a cave near the railroad tracks. Then, by a clever scheme, he lured the boss of the gang to the hideout. In the meantime, another train carrying $2 million in gold, on which Jimmy Olsen was riding, is approaching Rainbow Bridge, which will be blown up as the train passes over it so that the boss can hijack its valuable cargo. Superman knows this and believes he has plenty of time to avert the disaster. But he does not know that the train left an hour earlier, and even now is only a few minutes from Rainbow Bridge. As our story opens, we find Superman in the cave with the desperados, waiting for the arrival of the boss, whom none of them has ever seen.
The suspense is getting me.
Yeah, you're right. I've never laid eyes on the boss. And when I do, it's going to be a shock.
Yes.
No one has ever seen the boss, eh?
No.
Well, we'll soon...
There he is now.
Oh, gosh, I'm nervous.
Is that the signal?
Yeah.
Good. Now to see who the boss really is. Bill, open that door. I said open it.
Okay.
Well, Bill, here I am. What's wrong? What's happened? I don't stand there with your mouth open.
Are you the boss?
Well, you're Reginald Van Doren. You're the president of the Metropolis National Bank.
Now, listen to me, you men. I kept my identity a secret for a long time.
Pretty clever, robbing your own bank.
Listen to me, I said. You've all had an easy time of it working for me. You've had little to do, and the pay has been good. If one of you ever breathes a word of this, if you ever give me away...
Who's done that, Van Doren?
What are you talking about?
The guy in the masquerade costume standing over there to the side has heard every word you said.
That's right, Mr. Van Doren.
What? Who is this man? Why is he dressed like that? What's he doing here?
Listen, boss, whoever he is, take it easy. The 10 of us hopped on him and he beat the pants off us. Even bullets don't hurt him. He's the guy that made us trick you into coming here.
Tricked me into... Bill, you mean to say nothing is wrong? That this has all been a trick to lure me here?
Well, you see, we was all waiting around
I'll
here
answer that. Yes, Van Doren, it was a trick. Nothing more than that. I had to make your men pretend something had happened to the $5 million in that freight car to make you come here and reveal your identity. Well, they say in detective stories, the game is up.
There's something familiar about you. I'm hanged if I know what it is. Who are you, anyway?
That doesn't matter. What does matter is putting you and this gang of yours behind bars where you belong. After that, I'll see that the $5 million is restored to the depositors of your bank.
Oh, you will. You think you...
Wait a minute. I haven't time to argue with you now. It's almost 6 o'clock. There's a train leaving Larimer in 10 minutes carrying another $2 million in gold.
Well, what of it?
I understand you plan to blow up Rainbow Bridge when that train passes over it.
How can I blow up the bridge if my men and I are here?
You can't fool me that way, Van Doren. I happen to know how you've arranged it.
When the locomotive reaches the other side of that bridge, it will trip a lever, which will then explode the dynamite you've planted under the bridge.
Very well. You know how it'll be done. But you won't save the train.
What do you mean?
Just this.
Put that gun away, boss. Won't do you no good against this guy. We even tried Tommy guns on him.
I'm not going to use it on him.
Hey, what are you talking about, boss?
That corner over there. There are about 10 boxes of dynamite piled on top of each other.
Sure. We had that left over after we finished blasting out this tape. We had this, hey, wait a minute now.
A long time ago, I made up my mind that if I were ever caught, I'd take the easiest way out rather than face the music.
I wouldn't do any bluffing, Van Doren, because I'll call your bluff.
I'm not bluffing. Either you let me walk out of here safely and unharmed, I'll blow us all to kingdom come by sending a bullet into that dynamite.
He means gonna blow us all. What are you gonna do?
Give me that gun, Van Doren.
One more step. Just one more.
No.
All right. You're up for it.
Did you see what happened?
Holy mackerel, did you see that?
Well, all I seen was a streak, and then that guy was standing there in front of the dynamite tape.
Yes. And here, Van Doren, is the bullet you just fired.
I know who that guy is now. He's Superman.
You've gone very white, Van Doren. You're trembling. Perhaps you realize now there is nothing you can do to help yourself. Drop your gun, Van Doren, and give up quietly. And now, gentlemen, I'm going to leave you. But don't try to follow me. I'm going to barricade the entrance to this cave so you won't get out.
But you can't leave us in here. We'll start to death.
Oh, you won't be here that long. It shouldn't take more than an hour or two for the police to arrive.
Leaving the cave, Superman blocks up the entrance to it and then speeds to Larimer, there to meet Jimmy Olsen and warn the railroad authorities that Rainbow Bridge will be blowing up the minute a train passes over it. He arrives at Larimer and, in the guise of Clark Kent, enters the station master's office.
Oh, yes, sir. There you are. Two from Metropolis?
That's right.
Yes, sir. Here you are.
Thank you.
Oh, what can I do for you, sir?
Well, what track does the 6 o'clock train from Metropolis leave on?
6 o'clock train from Metropolis?
Yes.
Oh, I guess you don't know. The schedule's been changed, sir.
What?
Yes, sir. 6 o'clock train now leaves an hour earlier at 5.
Wait, now let me get this straight. The train I expected to leave here a few minutes from now left nearly an hour ago. Is that right?
That's right, sir. There'll be another train from Metropolis just about...
Never mind. I've got to get out of here.
Well, I wonder what he's so upset about. After all, just because you missed it.
I'd only known. There I was back at that cave wasting time with Van Doren. Have I time, I wonder? Can I reach that bridge before the train does? Well, this is another job for Superman. Up, and away!
Bucko, we're crossing Rainbow Bridge at last. Would you be looking at that view now, would you?
Gee, it sure is keen. Look how high we are. How far down to the bottom of the canyon?
Oh, 1,000 feet or more. Think of what had happened to you if you fell off.
Oh, gee, don't say things like that. Just the thought of it makes me scared.
There's nothing to be scared of, laddie. We're nearly to the other side. Just another minute, we'll be across.
There's the train ahead. She's practically across. When the locomotive reaches the other side, the bridge supports at that end will be blown up. I've got to stop them before they reach it. Faster, faster. I may make it by a split second. It's just possible I can... Too late. There's the explosion. The bridge is collapsing. Only one thing to do. I've got to hold up that bridge until the train passes over it. Down! There, got it. Those timbers creak. But I made it. Just in time.
Gosh, Mr. White, it was terrific. We heard this explosion, and the bridge started to sway back and forth. Boy, I thought we were going over sure. Then suddenly the bridge stopped swaying, so you could feel it was kind of ripping.
All right, Jimmy. If you've told me once, you've told me a dozen times.
Yeah, but you won't believe me about Superman.
Of course I don't believe you.
I tell you, I saw him. When we got the whole train safe on the other side, we got out. Then we saw the bridge start to fall. And I saw this man in a red cape and everything fly down into the valley.
Nonsense. Sheer nonsense. You imagined it.
Well, then, how do you account for those men? The men who were waiting in the valley to get the gold when the train crashed. How do you account for them being captured? When the police got there, they were all tied up inside the truck. They said they'd been captured by a guy wearing a red
They
cape.
imagined it, too.
Oh, some imagination. How about Mr. Van Doren and the gang inside the cave? They said...
I tell you, I'll not believe in such foolishness. Superman. Super nonsense.
Hi, Chief. Hello, Jimmy.
Well, Kent, a fine time for you to show up.
Yes, Mr. Ken, what happened to you?
Why didn't you meet the train at Larimer? What's the idea of letting this youngster make the trip alone?
Oh, Chief,
We'd have had a fine story out of that bridge blowing up, Kent, if we'd had a reporter on the job.
Oh, wait a minute, Mr. White. What was wrong with my
Oh,
story?
wait a minute, everybody. I missed the plane, Chief, but I got another one out right away. Gosh, as it happened, the train schedule was changed.
That's right, Mr. White. We left an hour earlier.
Yeah, you two can cook up more alibis. You come into my office for a
Well, that's where we get it, Mr. Ken.
Yep, looks that way, Jimmy. Another bowling out. Well, we've taken the others. I guess we can take this one.
All right, come in here. Now sit down, both of you.
All right.
Now then, let's get one thing straight. From now on, there's going to be no more...
Gosh, Mr. White, what's wrong?
What are you staring at your desk?
This pile of stones on my blotter.
Oh, I noticed those the minute I came in. You're taking up geology or something?
Look at those stones, Kent. Don't you see anything peculiar about them?
Yes. They've been sort of piled up into a queer kind of formation. It looks as if someone had spent some time arranging them.
Someone did. That pile of stones is an Indian symbol. A warning of impending death.
Jimmy.
You sure that's the Indian sign of death?
Positive.
Oh, someone's playing a joke on you. Besides, what do you know about Indians?
More than you think. Hey, let's have a drink of water. Jimmy, hand me that water pitcher.
Sure, Mr. White, I'll get it. Holy mackerel. Did you see that?
The water pitcher. It shattered into a million pieces just as you reached for it.
What could have done that?
The thing that did it is lying on the floor. Pick it up, Jimmy.
Jeepers. Look what it is.
Kent, do you see what that is?
Yes, Mr. White. It's an arrow.
What is the meaning of these strange occurrences in Editor White's office? Who placed the Indian warning of death on Editor White's desk? Who shot the arrow that shattered the water pitcher? What new adventure awaits our friends? Be sure to hear the next episode of our story with Superman.
Welcome back. My wife has some theories about who the boss might be. I'm not sure I agree with her, but she thinks it's the Yellow Mask. I don't know. And, it was like, oh, it's so simple when they explain the plot. I guess it's simple if you went to school and studied engineering. But, okay, we slowed these cars down to 5 miles, and we slowed these cars down to 7, and we went ahead, and this was while the main car was going 10. Well, of course, it's so simple. What? But we have got everything set up. We're going to have an action-packed 11 and a half minutes just about. When we find out who the boss is, we find out what happens to Jimmy Olsen going over Rainbow Bridge. It is going to be an action-packed conclusion, and you've got to download Wednesday's episode to find out what happens. For now, though, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off from Boise, Idaho.